Listen, as Josh said, it is an end of an era, right? Jony Ive designed the iconic, Mac Cube to the last set of Apple Watches. This is an end of an era, but it also reflects the fact that Apple is moving more and more towards a services company, and that's what's becoming more important versus how the products look and feel today. So I do think it is an important thing, but not a deal breaker for Apple. I do think the one thing that's notable is not the fact that Jony Ive is leaving, but how the people that are replacing him are now going to rolling up to the COO, not to the CEO anymore. So in a way, it tells you, what that structure looks like internally has changed rather dramatically within Apple too.
Kevin, do you think it's a sign that this company is now more of a software or services company, less a hardware company?
They wish that could be the case, and investors do too, because the margins are much higher, but I think it's still a pretty big hardware play. I don't think Ive's leaving is that big a deal. I would say one thing that there's not enough credit being given to. I got to work for Steve Jobs in the late 90s and watch him design products. The look and feel of everything you see today is at least 50% him. He was not a very nice person to work with, I'm just being honest with you. But he and Jony together created the look and feel of what Apple is today. Obviously, Ive's maintained it through the different iterations of phones, but I remember seeing that phone sitting on a table in its first iteration, and at least half of the pain and misery in creating it came from Jobs himself. So my thought for this now is for the company to go out and recruit somebody new and fresh and different. Make it a contest, make it a global contest to hire a new team. It would get lots of press. It'd be very interesting. But I think the company could use a fresh set of hands and eyes as it goes forward.
Like a TV show, you mean, Kevin?
Like a reality
Shark Tank style competition?
It could be a great reality show. I'd love to host it.
Just, Kevin, on the point, though, about the structure now, which Amit kind of mentioned, Tim Cook, I think, has 18 or 19 direct reports. Is that too many? I mean, you manage multiple businesses. Do you think the structure works?
I think it's okay. He's actually a logistics guy and a very good one. So I don't see a problem there. I think at the end of the day, he's formed an organization that suits his needs. He took a great idea and brought it forward 1,000-fold in terms of logistics and implementation. Not a whole lot of new creativity, but he's not really advertising that. The company's been built on the backbone of the Trojan horse iPhone, and the services came in afterwards. A lot of people are critical of Apple, but it's a cash machine. I don't own the stock right now for a bunch of reasons. It, to me, looks like consumer electronics. It's not what it used to be, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I can find better places to put money to work right now. And basically, it's a bit of a financial engineering play. There's a lot of stock being bought back, and I don't think that's necessarily great. I'd like to see more growth and innovation, and that's why I'm suggesting bring in fresh new hands and eyes. It could be good for the company.
To that point, Amit, long-time, well-known Apple blogger John Gruber, his take on this was, he said, Apple's in trouble not because Jony Ive is leaving. He said, I worry that Apple's in trouble because he is not being replaced. Why is that, Amit?
Yeah, it kind of goes to the discussion Kevin was having, right, which is what made Apple successful was the look, the feel, the ease of using it, right? Apple products, I think, are ubiquitous for you don't have to change how you use the product changes itself for you, if you think about how you orient an iPad, for example, right? That is getting stepped away. So now the design officers that are replacing Ives are rolling up to the COO, versus in the past, the design officer or Jony Ives always rolled up to the CEO, right? So it is a bit of a dilution of what design was perceived at Apple versus today. I think that's what the blogger intended to say. Well, that's our take, at least.